West Side Story. Now, is it for everybody? Well, in this review, let's find out. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. This is GVN, where we review movies, series, comics, animations, and video games. And it's all about West Side Story in this one. Now, it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and probably many of you that are watching this know who he is, but if you don't, Steven Spielberg is like the OG, he's like one of the OG directors in Hollywood. I mean, the man is in his 70s. He's a very well accomplished director. You know how you make a record and then you break it? Well, he's the first director to ever do that. He made a movie, E.T., and then he made Jurassic Park, which broke the record of E.T. as the highest grossing movie of all time. You know, the same way James Cameron did for Titanic, and then Avatar. Like, is the shit. He's a billionaire director. He's worth well over $3 billion. So he knows his stuff. I mean, movies like Jurassic Park, like I mentioned earlier, Schindler's List, the Indiana Jones trilogy, Ready Player One. That was like his most recent movie before West Side Story. So he knows what he's doing. And why did I say all of this? Because this review is going to bring out a lot of things. What I really liked about the movie and what I definitely did not like and I hated about the movie. So first and foremost, the setting. Now, West Side Story is a musical, but it's a musical, you know, with the drama and everything, and it shows the different sides of the story that's between the Jets and the Sharks. And the Jets are sort of Irish, they're the whites, while the Sharks are the Puerto Ricans, and you know, they're sort of like fighting for turf, that kind of stuff. And this is like a love story. So, you know, when I was watching it, I initially was curious and I saw a lot of similarities between it and Romeo and Juliet. And it turns out that yes, it's actually based on Romeo and Juliet, of which Romeo and Juliet is also based on another short story from like way back in the 15th century. So yeah, we've got that backstory bit out of the way. Now, to the movie itself. See, I like the way it was shot, the camera angles. I mean, you know, this was a movie that I was watching. I was like, yes, now OG direct this thing. So it has the appeal, you know, the colors, the way everything was presented, you know, the camera angles and all that. It was really nice, and I liked that about the movie, right? But then, see, there are two parts of this movie that just turned out to be cons for me, and they were like major deal breakers, at least for me. So first and foremost, the music. Yes, I know it's a musical, but for some strange reason, I don't know what, and I'm someone that I love almost every genre, right? I still kept remembering In the Heights and The Greatest Showman, which are like two of the most recent musicals I've watched. Whenever I watch that one, you know, I remember songs from In the Heights, I'll remember songs from The Greatest Showman, their theme songs also, you know, importantly. I'll remember those, but I don't remember a single moment where I felt compelled to pick up my phone and Shazam a particular song from this movie. I did not really like any part of this movie as a musical. It was, you know, the craziest thing is, while I was watching this movie, when it looked like, because you can tell when it comes to musicals that chances are when this thing is about to happen or this thing just happened, they're about to sing. Do you know, when I was watching on my screen, I was like, please don't sing, please don't sing, please don't sing. I found myself skipping through some of the songs. Like, I'm not kidding. And the musical, in a musical, is an important part. You know, it brings out emotions and all of that. But I found I was just rolling my eyes most of the time, and I just kept skipping, next, skip, next, skip. I did not really like that about this movie. It was a major con for me. Like, it sucked. I don't know why. See, and you know, this might sound like I'm passionate. I mean, I've praised Steven Spielberg. I really like his body of work. I mean, if I could be half the director he is, I know I'm well on my way to greatness. You know, he's a man whom I admire. But I don't know what went wrong with this movie. I did not like it at all. The musical, and I don't know if you've seen the movie, so maybe you can relate with me on this, or you haven't, and I'll say, if you don't agree with me because you're like, who be this guy? Why is he bashing Steven Spielberg? Please watch it. And then let me know what you think. Yeah, in the comment section down below, and we'll be sure to respond, because truth is, I did not like it. Every time I noticed that, oh, I was beginning to get into this movie. Oh, I was beginning to like it. Oh, I was liking the flow because, like I said earlier, when I was watching it, I could tell that, okay, this is a forbidden love story. So I know the plot. Now, how will it end? I don't know whether it will end exactly like Romeo and Juliet, but yes, I understood the plot already from the get-go. But then, as I was getting into the story and, I was enjoying, then the musical comes up and I'm just like, okay, here we go again. Where's my phone? I just find something to press, or I just skip to the next part where the singing is done. I did not like it. I hated it. That's the truth. It might sound harsh, it might sound blunt, it might sound very inconsiderate, but I did not like it. I hated every part of this movie that included music. Fact. Also, another con for me, which was also a major deal breaker. So here's the thing. There are different kinds of people that watch movies. Even for English movies, which is the predominant language that, say, a movie was made in, at least movies that many of us watch. For example, in this case, West Side Story. The title of the movie is what? West Side Story. Last time I checked, that was an English word, or those were English words in the English language. But then, okay, I mentioned that there are two factions, right? There are those that are predominantly English speakers, and then there are the Puerto Ricans who speak Spanish. Now, would you believe me if I told you that for every lick of Spanish spoken in this movie, there were no subtitles?
Y ahora yo no soy parte de la familia.
Whether hard-coded or in any way, there were no subtitles. And it's different when you are watching a movie and then you see that the subtitles are not there for a particular line of dialogue that was said in another language because someone in the scene would eventually translate it, or it's just something that will not break you from the immersion of the movie. No! They expected us, that all of us that were watching a movie titled West Side Story, not a Westo Story. Sorry, no offense to Spanish, I don't really speak Spanish, but you know what I mean. It's not a Spanish title like a Telemundo and then you don't see English. If that was the case, then you'd be like, okay, well, it was Spanish title and they did not bother to either dub it or put it in English with the subs. So yeah, maybe I can understand that. Like, okay, La Casa de Papel, for example, if you're watching without subs, the title is La Casa de Papel. So it's in Spanish, right? That is different. That is understandable. The title of this movie is West Side Story. And, I thought maybe it was some sort of mistake or oversight, which is like very, very highly unlikely. But I thought that was the case. So I went online while watching, I paused, I went online to do some research. And it turns out that Steven Spielberg himself, the OG director, said he wanted both languages to exist in equal parts because it would be disrespectful to put subs for the Spanish side. And I was just like, God. Like, how in the hell does that make sense? This is a movie with an English title. This is a movie where even the characters who speak Spanish, who have lines in Spanish, still spoke English. But somehow, for some weird, messed up, whatever your reason is, which I mentioned earlier, you are saying that the parts that include Spanish should not have subs. And what really grinds my gears with something like this is this. There are people who watch movies that are deaf. So, if there are no subs for the language in any way, they will be left with what? To just read the lips. I can hear, right? And because I don't speak the language, it made immersion a lot more difficult for me to now talk less of a person who can't hear. And for some reason, the person says that it was English subs, and next thing, the English subs are gone, but then the movie continues. There is singing, there are other stuff that are happening, but at the same time, there are no subs. That broke the immersion for me too. I absolutely hated that, because even movies where they are speaking English, you still find English subs. Like, that's how much they are trying to drive home the message that we want you to understand what you are watching. But then in this case, he was saying, out of respect for them, in his exact words, and I quote, "It was out of respect that we didn't subtitle any of the Spanish. That language had to exist in equal proportions alongside the English with no help." What the hell? These were the exact words of Steven Spielberg, the OG director. How does that make any sense? Look, so that it doesn't look like the point of this review is just to bash, I really thought I'd get a lot more from Steven Spielberg, because the last thing of his that I watched is Ready Player One, and I watched a lot of his other movies. Jurassic Park, like I mentioned earlier, in 1993, I watched it. The Indiana Jones trilogy, I've watched those. I really liked them. Schindler's List, really awesome movie. There are so many other movies from him that I've watched and I've loved. But see, if I'm going to rate all his movies, man, this one is the worst by far. And I don't know why he decided to go with this decision out of respect. I mean, out of respect. The respectful thing was for you to put the subs. I mean, it was like you were just flipping people off. You're giving people the middle finger by not putting the subs. Because the title of the movie is West Side Story. And that's the thing. Now, Ariana DeBose won Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars, and I think she did well in the movie. Same with Rachel Zegler and Ansel Elgort, and every other person. Like, everybody brought their game and they did their thing in the movie. So it takes nothing from them, from what they did in this movie, right? I think they've earned whatever praise that they get. But I really think this movie, the singing and the lack of subs for the Spanish, just killed the entire immersion for me. And unlike most people, I know I mentioned earlier when I said when the Spanish started, or the music started rather, that I'll just pick up my phone or I'll skip. I don't do that. So when people tell me they've watched a certain movie and I see them watching the movie, or when we're in the cinema and I see people pressing their phones and all that, I'm like, it breaks the immersion for me. I don't normally do that when I watch movies, right? But in the case of this movie, really, I think it took me the space of maybe 2 to 3 days to finish this movie, because I just stopped caring at a point. And since I knew it was based off Romeo and Juliet, and I knew what the story was about, and I was like, why can't I just pick up Romeo and Juliet and watch again, even if it's the one done by Leonardo DiCaprio or a much older one? Why am I watching this movie? But you know, I have to watch it to review for you guys, to let you guys know what's up. So that's what's up with this movie. In my opinion, it sucked. It was a waste of my time. But hey, it's another review video. What do I give this movie over 10? West Side Story gets a 3.5. I mean, because Steven Spielberg is an OG, a 4 over 10. But it does not even get a 5 because it's not average. It wasn't a nice movie for me to watch. I did not like it. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion or you agree with me, but whatever the case is, please let us know where. You guessed it, the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. It's been Tech for GVN. If you want to watch more, we've got this one, and enjoy the rest of your day or night wherever you are. Peace.